Hello everyone, my name is Matthew and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome back to Hebrew Basics, a series where we learn the essentials of Hebrew grammar. Today we are going to do a review of everything we've learned from lessons 25 to 28 in this series. During these 4 lessons, we've been learning the Hebrew past tense, which is used to describe actions that took place in the past. Let's see the past tense of the Hebrew verb lashevet, which means to sit, and which is from the root Yod, Shin, Beit. The Hebrew past tense has a different form for every pronoun. The form with the pronoun hu, he, is the simplest. It is just made with the 3 letters of the root, with a kamatz and a patach. That means he sat is hu yashav. We can add endings onto this hu form, yashav, to make the other forms of the past tense. Adding the ending ti, we get yashavti, which is used with the pronoun ani, I. Ani yashavti, I sat. Adding the ending ta, we get yashavta, which is used with the pronoun ata, you masculine singular. Ata yashavta, you sat masculine singular. Adding the ending t, we make yashavt, which is used with the pronoun at, you feminine singular. At yashavt, you sat feminine singular. And adding the ending nu, we make yashavnu, which is used with the pronoun anachnu, we. Anachnu yashavnu, we sat. We can shorten the first vowel, the kamatz, to a shva and add the ending tem to make yashavtem, which is used with the pronoun atem, you masculine plural. Atem yashavtem, you sat masculine plural. Keeping that vowel shortened and adding ten makes yashavten, which is used with the pronoun aten, you feminine plural. Aten yashavten, you sat feminine plural. Taking the hu form yashav, we can shorten the second vowel, the patach, to a shva and add an a ending to make yashva, which is used with the pronoun he, she. He yashva, she sat. And adding u, we make yashvu, which is used with the pronouns heim and hein, they masculine and feminine. Heim yashvu, they sat masculine, and hein yashvu, they sat feminine. Let's say we sat in the park. We is anachnu, and the verb sat must be in the anachnu form of the past tense, which is yashavnu, with that nu ending. Notice that the verb yashavnu is only used if the subject is anachnu, we. Because of this, in Hebrew it is very common to not use pronouns when using the past tense, so we just use yashavnu to mean we sat. Pronouns can even seem unnatural when we use them with the Hebrew past tense, and so they are usually just used for context and emphasis. So again, we sat is just the verb yashavnu, and the park is bapark. Yashavnu bapark. We sat in the park. Yashavnu bapark. If the third letter of a root is a hey, that root's past tense will be irregular. Let's see an example with the verb lirtzot, which means to want, which is from the root resh tzadi hey. The hu form is almost regular with roots ending with hey. It just has another kamatz as its second vowel instead of a patach. Ratza, he wanted. Before we add endings to make the other forms, we often replace this a ending with e, spelled with a yod. Then adding t, we get ratziti, I wanted. Adding the ending ta, we get ratzita, you wanted masculine singular. Adding t, we get ratzit, you wanted feminine singular. And adding the ending nu, we get ratzinu, we wanted. We shorten the first vowel to a shva before adding tem to make ratzitem, you wanted masculine plural, and ten to make ratsiten. You wanted feminine plural. To make the heim and hein, they form of the past tense of roots ending with hey, we take off that a ending and add the usual u ending to make ratsu. They wanted. And to make the he, she form of the past tense, we take the hu form ratsa, shorten the second vowel to a shva, replace the hey with a tav, and add the a ending to make ratsta. She wanted. Let's see a few forms of the past tense of the verb le'ehov, which means to love or to like. The hu, he form, is ahav, he loved. To make the he, she, and heim and hein, they forms of the past tense, we usually take this hu form, shorten the second vowel, the patach, to a shva, and add a for the he form, and u for the heim and hein form. But if we did this, we would be putting a shva under the letter hey. Remember that the letters aleph, ayin, chet, and hey often do not like to take a shva. To solve this problem, if the second letter of a root is an aleph, ayin, chet, or hey, the vowel under those letters in the he and heim and hein forms will be a patach shva instead of just a shva. So she loved is ahava, and they loved is ahavu. And of course, if an aleph, ayin, chet, or hey is the first letter of the root, the atem and aten, you masculine and feminine plural forms, will be irregular since they're supposed to have a shva under the first letter of the root. For example, let's take the verb lachshov, which means to think. The hu, he form of the past tense from this verb is chashav, he thought, with the three letters of the root and a kamatz and a patach. To make the atem and aten, you masculine and feminine plural forms of the past tense, we are supposed to shorten the first vowel, the kamatz, to a shva, and then add the tem or ten ending. But again, the letters aleph, ayin, chet, and hey often do not like to take a shva, so these forms of the past tense will use a patach shva instead of a regular shva. Then adding tem, we get chashav tem, you thought, masculine plural, and adding ten, we get chashav ten, you thought, feminine plural. Let's say I wanted this, but they did not want this. Since in this sentence we are contrasting I and they, we will use the pronouns ani and heim to emphasize this contrast. Again, using pronouns with the past tense in Hebrew is not necessary, but it is often helpful to use them to add emphasis. So I wanted will be ani, I, and the verb ratziti, wanted in the ani form. This is et ze. The word but is aval, and they is heim. Didn't want in Hebrew will be lo, not, and the verb ratsu, wanted in the heim form. Lo ratsu, did not want. And again, this is et ze. Ani ratziti et ze, aval heim lo ratsu et ze. I wanted this, but they did not want this. Ani ratziti et ze, aval heim lo ratsu et ze. Let's make the past tense of the verb lavo, to come, which is from the root beit vav aleph, a hollow root. The hu form of the past tense of hollow roots is made with the first letter of the root with a kamatz and the third letter of the root, with no second letter of the root. This means he came in Hebrew is ba. With the atem and aten forms of the past tense of hollow roots, the vowel under this first letter does not shorten to a shva. So you came masculine plural is batem, and you came feminine plural is baten. The he form, ba'a, she came, and the heim and hein form, ba'u, they came have the accent on the first syllable of the word. This only happens with hollow roots because other he and heim and hein forms have the accent on the last syllable. Let's say maybe he didn't come to the bank. Maybe is ulai, and he didn't come will be lo, not, with the verb ba. He came in the past tense. To the bank is la banque. Ulai lo ba la banque. Maybe he didn't come to the bank. Ulai lo ba la banque. The verb latet, to give, which is from the root nun tav nun, is irregular in several forms of the past tense. The hu form is regular, natan. But to make the following forms of its past tense, we take out that last nun before adding the endings t to make natati, I gave, ta to make natata, you gave masculine singular, t to make natat, you gave feminine singular, and nu to make natanu, we gave. Shortening the first vowel to a schwa and adding tem, we get natatem, you gave masculine plural, and adding ten, we get nataten, you gave feminine plural. Most of these irregularities only happen with this root nun tav nun, but other roots whose third letter is a nun have an irregular anachnu form of the past tense. This is because the nun at the end of the hu form and the nun at the beginning of the nu ending merge together to make just one nun. Natanu, we gave. If the third letter of a root is a tav, that tav will merge with the tav of some of the endings of the past tense. For example, we can take the verb shavat, which means he rested, in the hu form. Then adding an ending that begins with tav, like t, these two tavs merge together to make just one tav. So I rested in the ani form is shavati, with just one tav. Adding ta makes shavata, you rested masculine singular, and adding t makes shavat, you rested feminine singular. Shortening the first vowel to a schwa and adding tem, we get shavatem, you rested masculine plural, and adding ten, we get shavaten, you rested feminine plural. The conjunction she can be translated as who, that, or which, depending on the context. She attaches onto the following Hebrew word. Let's say she gave me the bird that I really wanted. Let's start with the verb she gave. We can make this from the verb natan, he gave, by shortening the second vowel to a schwa and adding a. Not na, she gave. In Hebrew, gave me will be gave to me. To me is li. The bird is hatzipor. And since hatzipor is the definite direct object of the verb not na, the preposition et must go before it. That is she, onto which we will attach the following Hebrew word, which is mamash, which means really. And finally, the verb I wanted is ratziti. Natnali et hatzipor shemamash ratziti. She gave me the bird that I really wanted. Natnali et hatzipor shemamash ratziti. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. And if you want to learn more Hebrew, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking out some of my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.